She says she wants a kind, stable, respectful man, but oddly feels drawn to someone who remains unpredictable and mysterious. Is she lying to you about her true desires? Or are there actually two distinct systems operating within her mind? Today, we are not here to criticize women, but rather to analyze human psychology through a lens of deep understanding. We must understand why logic often fails in attraction, and why instinct takes over when emotions start to run high. It is a conflict that has existed for thousands of years, creating confusion between what is said and what is felt. To navigate this complex maze, we need to peel back the layers of social conditioning and look at raw biology. Let us begin by dissecting the two operating systems that control human behavior, often without us ever realizing they exist. Welcome to Female Nature Revealed, where the logical social mind battles constantly against the ancient, instinctive, primal mind. And don't forget like and subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. System 2 is logical, slow, and socially conditioned to value stability, kindness, and long-term security above all other traits. System 1 is emotional, fast, and instinctive, responding immediately to dominance cues, confidence, and unpredictability without any conscious thought. This is not just about women, as men also experience this conflict between what they should do and what they want. What we say we want often belongs to our logic, but what we feel drawn to belongs to our instinct. When a man shows weakness, her logic might forgive him, but her instinct immediately loses the spark of genuine attraction. It is crucial to understand that she is not trying to deceive you. She is simply reacting to different internal signals. The social mask speaks of safety and comfort, while the biological shadow craves the thrill of uncertainty and emotional intensity. Society teaches women to suppress these primal urges, leading to a disconnect between their stated preferences and actual choices. If you only listen to her words, you will miss the hidden language that her subconscious is constantly speaking to you. To understand this deeper layer, we must look at the psychological concepts introduced by the famous Carl Jung years ago. Jung described the persona as the social mask we wear, and the shadow as the repressed instincts we hide away. Modern women are encouraged by society to be independent, rational, and fully autonomous in every single aspect of life. However, her shadow often contains a deep desire to be led, to experience intensity, and to feel overwhelming emotion. This desire for leadership is not weakness. It is the natural polarity that creates electricity between masculine and feminine energies. When a man refuses to lead, he forces her into her masculine energy, which kills the polarity and sexual attraction. She may say she wants equality in all things, but her shadow craves a man who can handle her chaos. She wants a rock that remains unmoved by the storm of her emotions, not a leaf that blows away easily. By understanding her shadow, you can provide the emotional intensity she craves without becoming toxic or dangerous to her well-being. It is about balance, acknowledging her strength in the world while allowing her to surrender to your strength in private. This dynamic satisfies both the persona, which wants respect, and the shadow, which wants to feel small and protected. But psychology is only half the story. We must also look at the biological history written into our very DNA. Sexual selection theory explains that historically, women had to choose mates based on resource stability and capability for protection. In the ancient world, choosing the wrong mate meant death, so the filter for competence became extremely strict and unforgiving. The modern world has separated resources from men, as women can now provide for themselves and their families easily. However, the biological cues for confidence, emotional stability, and boundary strength still trigger the ancient attraction mechanisms in her brain. This is why she is not attracted to money alone, but to the traits that historically allowed men to acquire resources. This is often mistaken for the bad boy appeal, but in reality, it is simply a signaling of competence. She is looking for a man who can survive and thrive. not someone who needs her validation to feel okay. These traits signal genetic fitness, telling her subconscious that this man has the best genes for her potential offspring. Decisiveness is a proxy for leadership. It shows you trust your own judgment enough to take risks and lead. True power does not need to be loud. It just needs to be felt through your presence and boundaries. This brings us to the most common misunderstanding in modern dating: the paradox of the nice guy and kindness. We must distinguish that kindness is not the same as neediness, and respect is certainly not the same as submission. When being nice means having no boundaries, fearing the loss of her, and always agreeing, attraction drops instantly. Evolutionary psychology shows that value is associated with selectivity. If you accept everything, you signal low value to her. Excessive accommodation signals that you have no other options, which subconsciously lowers your mate value in her eyes. Real kindness comes from a place of abundance, where you give because you want to, not to buy affection. Women want a monster who chooses to be kind, not a weak man who is kind because he is harmless. It is the capacity for danger that makes your kindness valuable. Without that capacity, your niceness is just compliance. Stop being always available. Create a life so interesting that she has to work to be a part of it. This leads us directly to the neurochemistry of attraction, specifically the role of dopamine and the need for unpredictability. The human brain responds most strongly to slight unpredictability, growth, and the display of emotional strength in difficult times. When a man becomes too predictable, too dependent, and lacks a life of his own, the dopamine system shuts down. Comfort increases, which is good for friendship, but desire decreases, which is fatal for a romantic relationship. You must maintain a sense of mystery. Do not reveal every single thought and feeling you have immediately. Unpredictability does not mean being unstable. It means having depths that she has not yet fully explored or understood. When you focus on your mission, you become a moving target, which makes you infinitely more interesting to chase. However, in the digital age, your behavior is constantly being measured against a world of potential alternatives. Humans naturally compare, and mate choice psychology shows we evaluate partners based on available alternatives and perceived mate value. Social media amplifies this instinct, making the competition global rather than local, increasing the pressure to maintain respect. If her respect for you drops, her comparison mechanism kicks into high gear, looking for a better option. This is not a conspiracy against men. It is a cognitive process designed to ensure the best possible survival outcome. To ensure you are the best option, she will subconsciously administer tests to check your strength and stability. Instead of getting angry, reframe these moments. Humans subconsciously test for emotional stability, boundary firmness, and self-worth. These tests often appear as light teasing, mild challenges, or sudden disagreements to see if you will crumble. If a man over-explains, becomes defensive, or desperately seeks approval, he signals deep insecurity to her nervous system. It is not because women are malicious. It is because their nervous system is designed to read safety signals. When you pass a test by remaining grounded, her anxiety drops, and her attraction and trust in you increase. She tests you because she wants you to pass. She wants to know that you are strong enough. This brings us to the core foundation of all female attraction, the one thing that matters more than love. Desire follows respect. Without respect, there can be no genuine desire, only pity or companionship at best. Respect comes from self-control, having a clear direction in life, and emotional regulation under intense pressure. Loyalty does not come from endless giving. It comes from perceived strength and the stability you provide to her. You do not earn loyalty through surrender. You earn it through a grounded presence that she can rely on. Focus on building your kingdom first, and the queen will naturally want to be by your side. When she respects you, the games stop, the tests reduce, and she enters her feminine energy naturally. It is a journey of self-improvement that benefits you first and your relationship second, creating a win-win situation. Women do not live in contradiction. They live in dual systems, just like men do every single day. If you focus only on what she says, you will be confused. If you focus only on instinct, you react. The goal is to integrate this knowledge, to see the hidden currents beneath the surface of social interaction. Build strength without losing kindness. Hold your boundaries without losing empathy, and let respect be the foundation. When you become the man who understands her nature, you become the man she cannot help but desire. Do this for yourself, to reclaim your own power and to navigate the world with eyes wide open. Understanding female nature is ultimately about understanding human nature and mastering your own reactions to the world. If you want part 2 on how to build presence without manipulation, please comment the word presence below. Thank you for watching Female Nature Revealed. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep psychological insights. Remember, the truth is often hidden in the shadows, waiting for the brave to bring it to light.